Now this airline started in July 2004. It grew at such a pace, terrifying pace. So somebody will say, was Vijay Mallya overconfident of his brand? Had he miscalculated the expenditures on his airline?
No, I don't think it's got to do with that. I think, you know,
why not?
India has a structural problem. That is the first issue. In our aviation sector, if you look at China, the way they are growing,
why is Indigo profitable?
All the other countries, how they're growing.
Why is Indigo profitable?
Well, it is the only airline that is profitable.
No, but why is it profitable? It must be doing something right.
It is only profitable because of the way they have structured. They have structured the aircraft buying deals. That's the only reason. But eventually they will get into a deeper hole, and they
why is others not doing that?
If these structural problems are not resolved.
No. Why is Indigo? I continue to ask, why is Indigo profitable, and why is no other airline profitable? Jitendra Bhargav.
It is temporarily profitable because of the aircraft buying.
Temporarily profitable. Jitendra Bhargav.
Arnab, let's get our facts right. Yes, we cannot but agree on this fact that Kingfisher's business model has not been appropriate. And to your query, why is Indigo a success? They have a very good business model, number one. Number two, they were the last of the carriers to have come in, so they have learned from the preceding airlines on what mistakes they made, and they did not make the same mistakes. Their growth has been calibrated. They're growing in a very systematic manner. They're expanding in a systematic manner, as a result of which the costs have been contained. And don't forget the fact that the promoter of Indigo has been in the aviation business as a reservation, running a reservation system. So he knows the business very well, and he's been able to get people at the right fare, containing his costs, and thus being profitable. All must give credit to Indigo for what they've done,
so
and perhaps other carriers can take a leaf out of them and implement it.
To those who say that Kingfisher should be helped, chiefly Sohail tonight, I want to ask you, here's a contrary argument, that there are a lot of poor people in villages who have put their money in all these state-owned banks, you know, all the public sector banks and other banks. Now, why should their money be directed towards financing or supporting what appears to be an airline that appeals or that serves the luxury elite segment, you know, and that too which has had great problems with its business model and which looks on the face of it to be unsustainable? Tell me, Sohail, why should that, what's your answer to that argument?
I'm sorry to give you a banking lecture now, which I don't intend to. All banks work on the premise that they must continue beyond, obviously not beyond a reasonable limit, they must continue to support the companies they've lent to. It is better to get
it is already supported, Sohail,
rather than lose the entire thing. 1 minute. Rather than lose the entire thing if the banks collapse. A. B. There are lots of private banks involved. Please understand, I believe, I don't know the financials, but I believe HDFC is also involved. There's a consortium of banks which does not only include what you term as the state-owned banks, So these banks are taking their own risk. Plus, I have great faith in the Reserve Bank of India, which has laid down very strict SLR norms.
Mohammed Salim.
Laid down very strict bank capitalization
Mohammed Salim is rebutting you.
I don't think these banks will fail.
From what I know, Sohail,
I mean, he can keep rebutting me, but
from what I know, Sohail, the cost of the petrol which you put into your car may be more expensive than the aviation gasoline which goes in right now. So that's one point I want to make to you in case you say there is no support structure. The Aam Aadmi is asking the question, the same companies charge me more for my petrol. Am I right, Bijon? Am I right? They charge me more for my petrol per litre.
Absolutely.
Than they charge for the airlines. Yeah. Am I right,
Absolutely.
Bijon?
It's not true.
And the point is, they don't give this kind of a credit facility to a small petrol pump owner, but they will give these facilities to the airline business for years together and keep the dues pending.
Quick rebuts. Mohammed Salim is rebutting. Quick rebuts.
It is high time good models are encouraged and they are made more profitable.
For the poor consumers, he just rubbished the subsidy thing.
Are now able to get the best out of their value for money.
The banks and to help bail out the
and not keep financing
The same swell set having different face.
Unprofitable businesses.
Because Vijay Mallya is a good friend.
No.
Because
Okay, one at a time. One at a time, gentlemen. One at a time. Here's a nice rebut coming to you, Sohail, from Muhammad Salim. Nice rebut, direct rebut. Go on.
Yes, I feel pity for Mr. Sohail. I don't know, because of friendship or because of clientele or because of customer, he's changing his argument and shifting it. The same person talk about when kerosene question comes, the subsidy, why subsidizing to the poor, and now he's talking, why not the bailout? So it changes.
No. Nobody wants a bailout. But if the airlines stop tomorrow,
his erstwhile party is being blamed for the financial mess in West Bengal, and today Amit Mitra says 2,600 crores is being borrowed from banks, from financial institutions.
Another fail who is going to be failed, miserably failed. Talk about this topic. Don't change the goalpost. Talk about your Kingfisher.
Now let's get back to the serious. Correct. Let's get
talk about your brand building.
I agree.
And you failed it miserably.
Yeah. Let's get back. Yeah. Now, okay. Let's get back to the serious issue.
Very good.
I think there are fundamental concerns that everyone would have. Number one, is it our money? I would say it's not. There's a consortium of banks. All banks have capitalization norms. If they exceed those norms, they will suffer. Number two, let businesses not be tarred with the same brush. Businesses do go through a dip. Here there are large systemic errors. If we can use this opportunity to also clear the systemic errors, so be it. You know, it's not about this or that. They're not mutually
exclusive. About business. It's about business. Simple point, Sohail. Has the extended limit with public sector banks, has it been surpassed by Kingfisher? That's the only simple point I'm making. What do you think, Captain Gopinath?
I don't know.
Has it been surpassed by Kingfisher? Has it? And to Captain Gopinath?
I'm here. See, as I said repeatedly, the government must not do knee-jerk reaction. It must look at the entire sector in its entirety and bring about a policy to have a vibrant aviation sector, in terms of the airport charges, the airport monopolies, and the government itself is responsible for many of these ills. And so instead of looking at making rules for Jet Airways or Air India, because this is not the way to treat the disease. So you have to look at the entire sector rather than looking at Kingfisher itself. But Kingfisher has now brought out this to the fore.
Yes, but
there are obviously some things that needs to be done by Kingfisher to change its model.
Gentlemen, as I wrap this up, I just want to say, I agree with you. I agree with you. That maybe you need to look at the sector, but we at the same time must be realistic. The present problem is not an industry problem. The present problem, you read the papers, is presently Vijay Mallya and Kingfisher's problem. And therefore, it must be looked at in that sense. To my guest tonight, thank you very much. Should Kingfisher be resurrected? Should Kingfisher be kept flying? Should it be kept afloat? To what extent should it be helped? We want your responses as well.